Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend with me while I share with you this week's transmission. We are focused on the series, The Feminine Blueprint. So let's dig right in. Get into today's transmission. Feelings and microphones. Feelings are data, not directives. At any given point in time, you can experience a situation that will leave you so overwhelmed and you don't know what is truth versus fiction versus, because it could be emotional residue, it could be nervous system residue, it could be something that triggered an emotion. A current event has triggered an emotion that happened many, many moons ago, and it's causing you to feel angst and overwhelmed. And you have to know that how you feel in that moment is not necessarily how you're going to feel going forward after having the facts of the situation. The core idea here is just because you feel it doesn't mean you get to speak it. Case in point. You know how sometimes you're on social and you're scrolling or whatever, and people are just like screaming and hollering or uh, like a emotional situation is happening in real time, and that person is like has their phone up and they're recording and they're this so and da, 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 and not realizing how detrimental what they're doing in that moment cannot be taken back, because once it goes out to the internet, it's done, right? And when I say done, I mean in a sense of you don't get a chance to reel in that thought or to reel in that emotion and be able to process it. Don't take a bullhorn to your feelings in the moment. Sit with them for a minute. Let them let the dust settle, as I would call it, and allow for reason to kick in. Because when you are in that type of being or that state of excitement or excitability moment, honestly, logic goes out the door. It really does. Be careful how you process your emotions and be careful how you um, move through situations when it is overwhelming in a sense. Okay. Number two, oversharing. Those are unprocessed emotions. It's not authenticity. If you find it to where your emotional discipline is out of whack, you feel like you always have to ask other people for uh, their opinion on X, their opinion on Y, or, you know, before you make a decision, you have to seek out someone else external to your feelings of what's going on. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. And that's a scary place to be. I used to be that way. Believe it or not, I did. I used to always have to seek out opinions of others before I made a final decision. And I finally got to a place where I realized that seeking outside counsel every single time for the most minute thing. It got to a point where I was just kind of like, why can't I make decisions for myself? And I'm a whole adult out here. It was ridiculous. Dare I say, juvenile, even well into my 30s. Gosh, I would seek out counsel for the slightest of things, slightest inconvenience. I was running into somebody else. And I realized I hadn't set up a system that worked for me to be able to trust myself, operating from a sense of, I almost want to say scarcity. It's a level of scarcity, but not complete scarcity. More of like a fear of doing it wrong. You know, I used to identify with telling folks, I could tell you what not to do. I used to tell my sons that. I could tell you what not to do. And now that I trust myself, like, it took a while to get there. But now that I trust myself, I have my system. I do what's best for April, period, point blank, every single solitary time. Emotional discipline is part of self-respect. So first you have to get to a place where you respect yourself, right? And people scream it all the time. Oh, I love me. I respect me. Do you? Do you? Think about it. When different situations come up, are you self-deprecating? Do you always put yourself last? You cannot pour from an empty cup. I tell people this all the time. You can't pour from an empty cup. I had a young lady who recently finished Unveil, and she messaged me in tears and was like, I did not realize how much of myself I was giving away and how little I was keeping for myself. Now, that's not to say that, you can't love your partner, or, you can't love your family, your children, or whatnot. But don't forget about you. Emotional discipline. Save some for you. Why not? I digress. I digress. Regulation comes before expression. A regulated woman chooses when, where, and how she speaks. Power isn't silence. Power isn't silence. Power is timing. So the core idea here is there is a maturity in knowing what doesn't need airtime. Everybody doesn't need to know everything. They don't. You hear people on social all the time. Well, my opinion is, and da 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 da. And yeah, everybody has an opinion. That's great. Keep your opinion. But does all of it need to have airtime is my question. Have some couth. Keep something sacred for yourself. Flat out. There's no other way around it. Love yourself enough to know that you do not have to bare your soul every single time something emotional slaps you upside your pretty little head. Period. Keep it in. Learn the lesson. Absorb. And then move what doesn't work for you away. That's it. Number 4, Sovereignty means discernment, not suppression. This isn't about stuffing your feelings down, okay? I don't want you to do that. It's about deciding which ones shape your identity and which ones pass through. Kind of like the concept of, um, you know, if it doesn't land, let it fly, let it keep going. If it doesn't make sense to you, let it roll. You don't need to, oh, well, that doesn't apply to so and so. Okay, that's fine. Do it moving, flat out. See, the core idea here is not every feeling deserves a microphone. Like when you see your favorite person online and they have a blue shirt on that they're absolutely in love with and you don't like it. Okay, it's fine not to like it. Now, do you have to tell the world you don't like it? What's the underlying theme there? What's the thought there? What are you trying to do? Let bygones be bygones. Not to mention, there is quiet and there's power in being quiet. It lends itself to a sense of mystery. And so the audience or the other person is just kind of like, I wonder what they're thinking. You could be thinking about what you finna eat for dinner. Everything doesn't need a microphone. The woman you are becoming is quiet, cunning, oriented, sees the landscape for what it is, does not need to tell the world her next move, sovereign, decisive, successful, and loves and trusts herself enough to know who she is and will not allow other people to decide that for her. Now, the question is, are you that kind of woman? Do you know how to be? You want to learn, I can teach you. It's not a problem. Start with unveil. That's the core teaching. Come back home to yourself. Stop performing. Be you, your beautiful, amazing self. And then stick with me on a weekly basis. I'm testing this whole get on the camera once a week. Typically, I think it'll be on Sundays. And the regular teachings will stay on Wednesdays. Again, doing something a little different, shaking it up. So, if this video spoke to you, by all means, like, share, talk to me in the comments, subscribe on YouTube, and follow me on other platforms. My link is in the bio. It starts with unveil. I will see you next week.